It seems like LeBron is not going to be slowing down anytime soon. In fact, it almost seems like he's getting better. But how? What's up everybody, it's Jimmy. And when it comes to sports, Father Time is still undefeated. One day, inevitably every athlete will have to come to terms with the fact that they aren't who they used to be. Every athlete except LeBron James.
I'm talking about
get a bucket on him.
No.
Man, come on, that little dude explosive, bro.
He is, but you seen his dad? His dad on that balcony. He on that new juice.
He ain't
that
sliding like he used to.
Man, bro. His dad on that balcony. He on that new juice. You seen his dad? His dad on that balcony. He on that new juice.
If the world understood what LeBron did, like other basketball players will hear what LeBron does and go, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter, right? It's like a baseball player. You're hitting a stick out of the way. It doesn't matter. It's like, no. If you knew what these performance enhancers did, then you would know why it does matter.
What do you think he's
There's
doing?
only one. We have the same drug guy, if you will. I know exactly what he's doing. Like, yes, it does matter. People will say it all the time. It doesn't matter. John Daly wanted it. It's like, it matters. Trust me that it matters. EPO matters. It's the reason LeBron takes it. It matters. And if other basketballers understood what it did, EPO increases your red blood cells, which gives you endurance so you can play all game long. You can shoot in the fourth quarter just like you shot in the fourth minute.
More red blood cells, more oxygen in your red blood cells. Okay,
yes.
got you.
It's the king of performance enhancers.
What do you think of all the conversation around LeBron James? Kevin Garnett makes a statement during a podcast that LeBron's on that new Balco, blah, blah, blah. And there's been a lot of rumors and speculation and the whole biogenesis, I think, DEA investigation. People attached to LeBron were connected to that. Should we be suspicious of the longevity of LeBron's career?
Yes, there's reason for suspicion. These things that you just mentioned, his manager, his agent, his wife, his trainer, all being connected to the biogenesis clinic, as well as another drug dealer at a gym. So it wasn't just biogenesis, there was another connection as well. And then some of this testimony that, his agent on a monthly basis was going by the biogenesis clinic and picking up a package of P.E.Ds with the initials LJ on them. Just adding all of these things that bring this cloud of suspicion. That's what you asked me about. Should they be suspicious? And the answer is yes. I'll tell you something else. When Chael Sonnen, the UFC MMA fighter who works for ESPN, said, I'll tell you exactly what he's taking. He's using EPO. And how do I know? Because I'm using the exact same supplier to get EPO. Why have you or other journalists not went to Chael, got him on your show, and asked him to please explain who this guy is and how he knows that LeBron James is using it? I have not heard LeBron James dispute that. Not a peep, have you?
No.
So when something comes out, now I want to be fair to him, but let me tell you something else I know. Right before I got on this program, I called and I talked with a writer. There's a lot of articles out there. In fact, I even sent some of them to you in preparation for this case, for this interview. This writer was on this case, this investigation, for 6.5 years. The word that he used was that ESPN basically blocked him from saying certain things in his articles and his reporting. He was blocked. He said there was much more in terms of information and innuendo, but they were unwilling to allow him to print this in his articles. So now we've got, later I'll talk to him and see if I can get some of the specifics. But he said, listen, there's more to this than you know.
LeBron James' wife and 2 associates named in federal P.E.D. investigation story that just recently came out. And it's got a lot of people saying, is LeBron doing GH, is young growth hormone? Is this the Lance Armstrong story that's about to come out, and they're going to strip him of all these different accolades that he has? So let's read it. LeBron James' close associate, Ernest Mims, business manager, and David Alexander, trainer, have been named an unredacted federal document related to the biogenesis scandal.
According to our Brian Windhorst, the much thinner LeBron James met with the new Cavs coach David Blatt and new GM David Griffin in person for the first time yesterday. And on LeBron's Instagram page, as you can see, it shows a much more slimmer LeBron. Says he lost 10 pounds. What is bigger, or a bigger shock? LeBron's weight loss or the fact that he just met his coach, Stephen A.?
The weight loss is the biggest shock. The coach, him just meeting the coach isn't that big of a shock to me. He's been on the move. Remember, he went overseas, went to World Cup. He's been all over the place. And obviously, he was in New York, actually on the set shooting his movie. He's got a movie he's working on, and that's where the coach met him. Didn't even meet him in Cleveland. But they text immediately, according to what I've been told, and that is that. What I'm more shocked by is the weight loss, because I'm used to seeing LeBron look massive, look strong, just look like a chiseled brick house.
You'll never be able to guess how much weight LeBron James is able to gain in just one game. Every single day, there's another LeBron James headline. Everything he says, every big play he makes, everything that surrounds his team eventually becomes a story. This story has to be one of the most unbelievable. LeBron James once gained 7 pounds from the start of a game until the end. This phantom weight gain happened when he was on the Miami Heat during an Eastern Conference Finals game. Brian Windhorst of ESPN wrote the story and said, "Some Heat teammates saw the scale and attest to it in amazement. James himself just shrugs and calls it weird as hell." The truly wild part is that it was from 271 pounds to 278 pounds, though James is much lighter these days. Now, LeBron's career has been full of marvels. He once turned his ankle nearly 90 degrees during a game and not only was fine, but posted a triple-double. Another game, he underwent a full workout before a playoff game and then went out and played 40 minutes and scored 40 points. LeBron's athleticism and the way his body works is freakish, but gaining 7 pounds in a few hours while working out seems crazy. How is this even possible? He gained that much muscle mass, drank a psychotic amount of Gatorade, and ate a 4-course meal at halftime? I totally understand fluctuating, but most players lose weight during games, not gain. But hey, maybe the scale was broken.
Hello, everyone. This is Incarcerated Bob with an exclusive interview here with the IBNSportsRap.com. We have a big interview here with a former employee who worked for Anthony Bosch. For those that don't know who Anthony Bosch is, he's kind of been in the news about steroids with A-Rod, with a clinic that he was running down in Miami, Biogenetics Clinic. And we have a former employee who worked under him who allegedly took some of his payments and ran the books for him. So basically, she was a bookkeeper. Let's get to her right now. Hello, Jessica. Are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Talk up, Jessica, so we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. How's everything going today?
I'm okay. And yourself?
All right. Now, first off, before we get into this line of questioning, your name, for the record, is Jessica. That's the first name you gave me. Can you give me a last name?
No, I don't want to have my last name out there.
You don't want your last name out there right now?
No.
Okay, I respect that. First question I have for you here is, once again, this is IBNSportsRap.com. Incarcerated Bob here, the exclusive interview with a former employee for Anthony Bosch, his former secretary or assistant. How did you meet Mr. Bosch? First off, let's start off like that. How did you meet Mr. Bosch?
Well, I met Mr. Bosch through a friend, and then I started working for him.
Okay, now what kind of, you met him through a friend, so what kind of relationship was this? Was this a working relationship? Was it a personal relationship?
It was personal and working relationship. I think both.
So would you say you got the job based on a personal relationship, or did you start that after?
After.
Okay, so let's get this straight. Right now, you started working for him, and you started a personal relationship after the fact of working. Now, let me ask you this. How long did you work for him? Like, what was the time length of your, since you started, when you started your job, to when you ended it?
Well, I started on April 2010 to February 2012.
So that was, once again, for the record, that was what? That was April 2010 to February
2012.
Okay, so you kind of just last year did he fire you or how did that happen? You just left, found a new job?
Yes, I just left and found a new job.
Okay, now let me ask you this: while you were working there under Anthony Bosch, what was your job description? Like, what were you there to do?
Well, I'm his assistant. I do the bookkeeping, and payments and stuff like that. Like keeping checks. Write down every check that's coming in a book, filing.
So you filed any payments that were made to the biogenetics clinic. You got a hold of, and you logged it into a computer or you logged it into a notebook. Like, how did that work?
Into a book.
So basically, you kept a book of all his clients that paid.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the big part. This is the part that we really want to know here. IBNSportsRap.com. Incarcerated Bob here. What names did you see in that book, or anything that kind of stood out to you during your time as a bookkeeper / secretary / whatever, personal assistant, doing whatever you were doing with him, type of thing? What names stood out to you at that time?
Well, there was like a lot of initials, like LJ, JN, Cisco, something like that. Cruz.
Cruz?
I don't know. Yes.
Oh, okay. So these were all the names that you just had in that you were told to put into your book?
Yes.
Okay, so now let me ask you, how did that work? Like, money would come in, or Mr. Bosch would, like how did that happen? Like, what would he tell you? Like if he had money from somewhere, did he tell you to put a certain initial in the book or something?
Yes, like for LJ, they like for LJ, like this guy named Mr. Paul would come in, and Mr. Bosch would just give me a check, and he would tell me to put in as LJ paid for that month.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. So someone named wait a minute. How are you spelling this now? Someone named Mr. Paul?
Yes. And
is that his first name, Paul, or last name?
I'm not sure,
well,
but it's just pretty weird that how he told me to put as LJ in the book instead of Mr. Paul.
Okay, so now Mr. Paul would come in. Let me look, because I'm trying to get this straightened out with you, so there's no misquoting or anything to that effect. Mr. Paul would come in every month. You said?
Yeah, every month.
So since you were working there, you seen him come in every month. You said you were working there for almost a year and a half. So over 15, 16 times this guy came in?
Yes.
And he would pay Mr. What did he get from Mr. Bosch? Let me ask you that.
Excuse me?
What did he receive from him?
I'm not sure, but I know for sure he was getting some products.
So he was receiving products, and he would pay for the products every month. And now you're saying that every time Mr. Paul would pay or give a check or whatever, however he would pay, he would actually, Mr. Bosch would tell you to put the initials LJ into the file as paid for the month.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how did you basically now get to think that LJ stand for LeBron James?
Well, my coworkers were, talking about LeBron James with a client, but I didn't believe all that until one day Mr. Bosch was telling me to delete LJ and JN, any files that with their name on it. So that what made me thought about, you know, it was probably with LeBron James and, you know.
And now with Mr. Paul, who is this Mr. Paul, though? Who do you believe that was?
I think it was a friend of LeBron James.
Okay, so you're saying Mr. Paul was a friend of LeBron James. He would make. Let's recap this. You would say that you are saying that Mr. Paul would come into the biogenetics clinic where you worked. Mm-hmm. He would pay for whatever products he was getting, right? Am I correct? And Mr. Bosch would tell you to put LJ as paid for the month. Mm-hmm. And then you heard rumors that LeBron James was a client, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into the computer here. This is taken from NBC Los Angeles. It says Team USA stars were drug tested after winning Olympic gold, Anthony Edwards claims. Steph Curry's legendary performance closing out the 2024 Paris Olympics was so impressive that the Warriors superstar immediately was subjected to a drug test following Team USA's unforgettable 98-87 win over France earlier this month. During a seminar at Fanatics Fest, Durant and Edwards sat down for a conversation on the boardroom, detailing their strange experience following the American emphatic victory that saw the trio of NBA stars get drug tested.
After winning that gold medal, can you give us a snapshot of what the celebration was like post-game?
After the gold medal, I'm not gonna lie, me and him had a, what they call it, a drug test? We had a drug test.
What?
Yeah. We couldn't even really celebrate in the locker room for real, because me, him, and Steph had to take like a drug test or something.
It's only right they gave Steph one. The way he closed that deal. Because that was crazy.
He supposed to got one after the first Serbia game.
Exactly.